Righty.
So, did you actually try the mud water again? Like you tried it the one time, but did you try it after that?
I haven't yet. I've been wary of the mess that I created last time. I will try it at some point this week. Is my plan. But I'll be trying it at home uh, on counters where it's not going to make a huge difference. They're not white, so they're not going to stain, make a mess. And I'll use different jar or whatever so that I can um, froth it better.
No, for sure. It sounded like it was quite the endeavor throwing that frother in there, giving you quite the feedback.
Yeah, it was weird. It literally spun everything up and out the side of the cup, and it was only half full, and it was a probably a 10-ounce cup instead of the 6-ounce cup that they're using in all of their ad photos. But yeah, lessons learned.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I just last week I tried, or this week, it was Monday, Tuesday, Sunday night, Monday and Tuesday. I tried. I did a 48-hour fast basically. Uh, I ate pretty good Sunday night. I had some good fats and what I thought was a good meal for what I was doing. And I had taekwondo on Monday night, and then I had another taekwondo on Tuesday night. Plus, I was trying to study. So on top of the studying, by the time I got to, it was around but when I got to the 48-hour mark, for some reason, out of nowhere, I got this headache. It was just like a blinding headache, and I still had to go to taekwondo that last night because I had to take the kids, and I was like, I can't. Like I could not function through it. I was like, no, that's it. I hit 48 hours. It's pretty good. I'm good. I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah,
Um,
you need a burger.
I needed a burger. I grabbed. Well, I made the hardest part. Other than like, cause my breakfast, I love my breakfast. Right, I have like egg whites and an egg and a piece of that is like my daily breakfast. That was the hardest thing was making breakfast for the kids, and I was not able to that much. So that was probably one of the hardest things. Second hardest thing was I made pizza for dinner on Tuesday night for the kids. So I made pizza for them, and I'm looking at this pizza like, oh my god, I've not eaten in 47 and a half hours. I just want to I need to eat this, like, and I need to eat this right now.
So what were you taking in? Like
so
just water and some salt
so I
kind of
was
stuff, or
taking I had black coffee, uh, nothing there, herbal tea, and um a water with lemon in it to help curb the appetite thing. Pardon me. And then on top of that, I had a little bit of like I'd put some salt in my tea, like something to help give me some basis. I think if I do it again, I'm gonna need to plan a little bit better. Plan out what I'm gonna eat, like or not know what I'm gonna eat, but what I'm going to drink. Like maybe get some electrolytes to help me out through the day, and find someone suggested Himalayan sea salt, specifically Himalayan sea salt, not sea salt from freaking Saskatchewan or wherever. No, 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 sea salt specifically from the Himalayas. So
well, that's one of the ingredients in the mud.
yeah, it's I don't know what the difference is between it and regular sea salt or any other sea salt. So that'll be my plan for next time is to I thought I'd done enough research and I wasn't, but I think I just need to maybe verify a little bit better and make sure I've got the electrolytes and something to keep me, a little bit more stable, especially for the weeks that I've got quite a bit of physical activity going on. Like everything I read said it's okay to do physical activity while you're fasting. You'll be fine. Blah blah blah. I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know. I think I might have to take a little less physical activity if I'm.
I mean, if I get to work and I'm running behind on stuff or something happens and I have to go deal with it and I haven't started eating by 10 in the morning, I'm feel it noticeably. I feel like I'm drained, that I have no energy, and whatnot. I can't imagine going 2 days without any real food or anything. That's crazy.
I think the most amazing part is that still had a ton of energy. Actually, I didn't feel bad. Like I felt like I still felt pretty good. Like I didn't feel those hunger pains. I really wasn't craving food. I wasn't panging for hunger. Like it was a lot almost easier than I thought it would be. Like I know that sounds terrible, and people are gonna be like, "Did you just say that it was easy to not to go 2 days without food?" But like it actually wasn't as bad as it could have been. Like there was never a time that I was like, if I don't eat now, I'm not gonna make it through the rest of the day. Like I felt pretty good. It was just I was studying and I just the headache came on and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have some salt. I'm gonna have my tea, and I could not get rid of the headache. I was like, and then as soon as I ate, the headache was gone. I was
Okay.
like, it was like, so I don't know if it was related or not, or maybe. So that was the thing. That's the thing that I'm gonna have to work through next time. Is like one of the videos I was watching is like these guys are like, oh, I could go for a nap in the middle of the day and I would feel better. I'd wake up and then I'd have some black coffee and I'd feel better. I'm like, yeah, I don't have the option of just having a nap in the like when the kids are at school. Sure, I have the option of having a nap during the middle of the day, but um, if it's 6 o'clock at night, I don't have the option of having a little 45-minute power nap and then trying to get to sleep later on that night. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I think again for next time, electrolytes, make sure I have the proper sea salt, and figure out because I think someone said you could take like bone broth or something like that, or you could have a brothy soup as well, as long as it doesn't stimulate an insulin. That'll be my next plan move. But I weighed myself on Sunday. I was 193.5 pounds for people that are what's the conversion on that, like 80 89 87 kilograms, 88 kilograms, somewhere around there. I weighed myself Sunday, that was 193.5. Weighed myself Monday, was 190.3. And then weighed myself Tuesday morning, uh, was 189.6. So I started off around 194, and then I got down to 189.6 by the time. So 2 days of fasting, and that weight is the 189.6 was after eating Tuesday night. So that was Wednesday mornings. This morning's weigh in. So yeah, I really felt that. I mean, if you're looking for something to spark your metabolism, like I'm not a doctor, so don't. I'm not suggesting this for people to be like, oh my god, he lost that weight. That's amazing. I gotta do that. I'm like, I don't suggest it unless you know what you've like. I've done a 24-hour fast, so it was like, okay, maybe I can do 7. So now that I've done 48 hours, I think my next step will be doing a 72-hour, and then after the 72, I'll work up to 7 if I feel like I need to do it. Just kind of like a metabolism reset, see how I'm feeling. But with schoolwork to do and stuff like that, I don't want to push myself too far, and the amount of how busy my schedule has been with other things. So, but otherwise, pretty good. Well, with that being said, welcome to episode 11, guys, of My Bourbon is Older Than Your Teammate. And obviously, I haven't had some bourbon in a while. But if I was going to have some bourbon, I think now would probably be the time, because it would be a shout out to Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away.
Yep.
Definitely a reign that's come to an end. You get people that like her. An era, yeah. Like, you got people that like her, people that love her, people that hate the royal family. So,
and everybody is coming out of the woodwork. Some of the things that you see out there is just very, very unfortunate that people feel the need to say that kind of stuff, or even some people that take offense at other people celebrating her life or mourning her and whatnot. It's been very strange seeing the different reactions.
yeah, I'm a little surprised. Like, I think the best comment, someone had posted a meme or something like that about her reign, and the best comment that I know of someone that posted on it was, you can't make a meme out of a 70-year reign. You know, like you can't just. It's that culture that we like. Hey, we're gonna focus on the bad points, and that way we can take down all your stuff and cancel you and all this. Like, there were bad parts in her reign, but wasn't necessarily just her. Like, it wasn't maybe her decision; it was the country's decision, and that was the way the country was going. And then there were good parts in her reign. So it's just, you got to take the good with the bad, right? And at least in my opinion. So.
Well, I mean, some of the individuals out there like to blame her for certain aspects because things occurred during her reign. Like I know, there was recently, I was brought it was brought to my attention where some people of Irish descent, or people that live in Ireland now, were upset at people mourning for the Queen, and I just couldn't understand the mindset. Like, sure, stuff happened during her reign, but she doesn't have any power or control over what the government really does. Like, they've been a constitutional monarchy since like 1760 something or whatever it is, right? Like, that means the parliament has had the power to do what they needed to do. So the prime minister of the UK is the one that directs public safety and all that kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with the Queen herself. So for people to, she couldn't turn around and tell the Queen, or the Queen tell the Prime Minister what to do, because she spent her entire reign not being political. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, bad stuff happened, but I don't think you can really blame the Queen for it.
That's one of the things we've talked about in our household a lot too. Is like, yeah, okay, like people do bad things, people do good things. Like, she wanted to stay out of politics. She wanted to, like, support the nation as she could, and but at the same time, people, kind of got to realize that it wasn't all just up to her what happened. So yeah, sad days. It'll be interesting to see in the coming days, especially me being ex-military, seeing what the military ends up doing with all of their Queen stuff.
Right.
Because in Canada, we've got all of that, like all the crowns that are on the uniforms, all the pictures of the Queen throughout the different bases. It'd be interesting to see how that change happens. Look forward. I'm sure that'll be in the news too in the coming weeks about what they're going to be doing with all that.
I know when I was in the reserves a long time ago, it was very rare to come across my unit's cap badge with a king's crown on it, and I count myself very lucky that I was able to locate one and acquire it for my collection, that it, well, not re- for my use or whatever. Um, and I mean, I still have it along with my Queen's Crown version um, from World War II.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
And those are good things to have around too, right? Like, just, I mean, although collector's items, yeah, I mean, I still have all my stuff from when I was in the military, and I still have all my badges, and so I'll be interesting to see how some of my friends' stuff change coming coming weeks. Um, cool. So on to other news. Other than just talking about the Queen, you wanted to talk a little bit about um the new Top Gun movie. I mean, I haven't seen the new Top Gun movie. I will fully admit, from being an Air Force guy, I have not seen the new Top Gun movie. I have not. I've watched the trailer a couple times, just probably because I haven't realized it. But it came out with a new official trailer after the movie had come out. What this was
It's
released.
probably like an extended version or something like that.
Oh no, never mind. This
Um,
is March 29th, 2022. But they came out with a new version. They came out with another trailer. Good. It looks good.
so I've seen it in theater, and I've watched it again at least twice, maybe three times since going to the theater. Um, it is a very uh, well, in my opinion, it is a fantastic sequel movie. Um, they did a fantastic job carrying Maverick's story 30 years into the future. Um, they hint back to the original Top Gun throughout the entire movie. One of the one of the supporting characters, I guess, is mentioned like three or four times in the original movie, but you never see her. And she makes her film appearance in Top Gun Maverick. Um, but the cinematics, the effort that went into making this movie, right there, that's his original bike from the original movie. Um, and bringing back people like Val Kilmer to play Iceman, despite the fact that he can't speak due to his illness. It's extremely painful for him to use his vocal cords. I think it's I don't know if it's a form of throat cancer or exactly what his illness is, but he can't talk anymore. And they giving him a role in this movie and really honoring his character and honoring their relationship that they've clearly built over the last 30 years in between the two movies has been fantastic too. To see that, and you can see that like Mav's cell phone, him and Iceman are texting, or Val Kilmer's character Iceman's texting back and forth, and he's in Maverick's phone as Ice. Like that, just so you know they're on that personal, really good friends. So they've obviously kept in a lot, really well contact in the interim between the two movies and everything. Um, the actual mission that they need to go on is really interesting. They don't specify who the enemy is this time, whereas last time they were very clear that they were going against Russians. Now the planes are painted with similar imagery, so it probably alludes to it being still the Russians. But and they're talking about fifth gen fighters, so I mean we're limited as to who those targets could be, Russia, maybe China or whatever. Um, and it's still like a star is the image of the enemy. So like I said, I expect it's still Russia, but it really pays tribute to the original movie. The original movie was one of my favorites when I was young. It made me want to be a fighter pilot, a pilot, um, as it did. I expect a lot of people back in the '80s. Now, there's parts of the original movie that I don't quite think hold up now, but it's definitely, if you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch, and then to watch Top Gun Maverick afterwards. I
Well,
think everybody will enjoy Top Gun Maverick.
yeah, I mean, I've seen the original Top Gun. I mean, that is a given for sure. Um, Especially being an Air Force guy, but yeah, the original. It is interesting that they've gone so far to bring in the parallels from the original to this one. I saw that. I mean, after I watched this, I got a whole bunch of videos that the good old YouTube algorithm saying, "Hey, by the way, since you watched this, you're gonna want to see this part." And it was the original love interest for Tom Cruise in the original movie.
Kelly McGillis.
Yeah, Kelly McGillis. They didn't bring her back, and there was like she said a quote. She's like, "Yeah, I don't fit the typical Hollywood beauty standard anymore. I'm old, I'm gray, and I'm fat, so I can understand why they didn't contact me to go into the movie." And I'm like, well, that's definitely one way to look at your role in the movie. I mean, but I mean, that's Hollywood, right? I mean, there's anybody can argue whether or not they're, but I mean. when you look at like the original Halloween and they brought Jamie Lee Curtis back in for that, I mean, it's like when they brought out the newer one, and I'm like, could have done the same. They could have brought her back in, but I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how it ties in. Like maybe the new love interest ties in perfectly without, you know, ruining the movie. I don't know.
It does, and that's the character that I was talking about. So you don't see her in the original movie, but she is mentioned several times. So the love interest in Maverick uh is known, I guess, to anyone who's watched the original.
Okay.
Uh, but and it was interesting. I think it's Jennifer Connelly who plays it in the new movie. Does a great job with it. It doesn't get too much into that side of things, which I think the original Top Gun did. Like some of the scenes in the original, it's very 80s movie, so I get that. But I think it was just a little too much, and if they had have taken those scenes out, it would have not changed the movie at all.
Right.
So I think in the original movie they could have pulled those extra scenes, love interest scenes, and the movie would have been just as good.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it is Jennifer Connelly that they brought into play. Um, yeah, I'll get around to watching it. It'll be one of these days, and it was a random day to watch it. Problem is, it's got to be on like Netflix or Disney Plus, otherwise I won't watch it.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, you probably might be able to rent it on Netflix. I purchased it on Prime myself because it was easy just to grab the online version on Amazon.
Okay, yeah, maybe I can grab it on Prime. I'll give it a watch. Okay. I'm surprised I haven't, had the entire thing ruined for me as it is. Um, yeah. Staying in that same kind of realm, or at least in the space slash air thing. Two interesting things happened this week. One, um, SLS got canceled this week, so the Space Launch System by NASA got canned. Its two launches that they were trying to, I think their next window is in the end of September, bringing it off October. And then during a live stream for Blue Origin, they had an engine fail, a catastrophic engine fail with the crew capsule jettisoning from the main rocket propelling system, which was interesting to see. Um, I have to give props to the person that was casting that stream because she just rolled with the punches, like, "Oh yes," and it looks like we had an engine failure, and the crew system did what it was supposed
Did its
to.
job, yeah.
Yeah, I would like normally you would think, at least in this day and age, would be like, "Oh God, shit can the stream now before they freaking see it." No, but she held it together. She's like, "Oh yeah, we had an issue and it worked perfectly fine, and you can see now, oh, the chutes are deploying and the crew capture's coming back down to Earth, and yes, good landing." And that's where we're gonna end this for today. Have a good day, and we'll see you on the next Blue Origin launch. And then boom, cut the screen after that. I'm like, well, you got that far, so you know what? Good job, good job.
I remember when the other one there, SpaceX did their capsule test, and it separated on a malfunction, which I thought was really good. Now they literally wasted a $500 million rocket with an intentional explosion to test that, which kind of says a lot about SpaceX, right? How much safety they're building into this, and how, like, if you're willing to just waste a $500 million rocket to test your safety systems to ensure the Dragon capsule ejects from the exploding rocket. I mean, that's fantastic in my opinion. Um, Go ahead.
I also enjoy how with SpaceX they don't cut the cameras when they had a malfunction with the landing systems on the floating platforms out in the
The
ocean.
pylons, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the booster recovery landings, yeah.
yeah, I always like it because they're like, oh, and it looks like, oh yeah, right there you can see the leg didn't come out, and then boom, cameras cut. Be like, well, we can't help the fact that the cameras got destroyed by the rocket exploding. So I always thought it was interesting that they continued to do their stream like, yeah, oh, we didn't have a successful landing of our booster section. Oh well.
But how much interest was generated, right? Like you're sitting there watching, and we're now doing the 30th booster test, and they nail it. Whatever it was, it may not have been 30, but they had so many launches, and finally, after however many it was, they finally stuck the landing. And I was amazed just seeing it that they had a booster separate and then land on its own. Like that was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I was really interested in watching it too because I really wanted to see it. I was like, that is awesome. A civilian company wants to do this, and it's just one of those. I think everybody has those dreams. That's like, oh man, it'd be so amazing to go to space. So cool. And they're really making this, trying to make it so that it's something that everybody can dream about doing because it's all controlled by the tower. There's no control inside the space capsule other than testing comm systems and all that kind of stuff. So it's really interesting. I think that's why there's so much public interest in it, because everybody's like, well, maybe that could be me. Maybe I could be sitting in that chair because I've got a degree in biochemical engineering and they may need me to go to Mars or something. So I feel like that's the main reason why they're putting these things forward and making it such a more of like a humanity thing, less and less like a just Americans or just this and just that. So
yeah, I mean, I think SpaceX has done a really good job with their PR and media departments to kind of reinvigorate the space race.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah.
For sure. It'd be interesting to see where things go from here on out. I don't know. I don't follow it that like really closely. I follow it close enough just to get enough of kind of the what's coming up next and what's new coming out. So I'll be interested. I when I can, I try to watch some of the long. Back onto some gaming news. So Overwatch 2 is in the news again. Really kind of not for a good reason yet again. I think the first reason it was in the news is because everybody was kind of played the beta and was like, okay, well, it's kind of like just Overwatch 1, with a little bit small updates that make it not that great, or make it okay, new game modes. But now Overwatch 2 is gating champions behind a paywall.
Behind their battle pass,
which was the paywall.
Yeah. I mean, what's the average year? I mean, depending on, you could be anywhere from like 15 or 10 to $30 on a battle pass from based on other games, what other games sell them for. So it's kind of it's very surprising move by Blizzard. I don't really get it. I mean, I get that they want to make money, but I mean, everybody is learning, switch that to cosmetics and you're still gonna just make as much money. I don't know why you would lock characters. I mean, even Battlefield, we were sure a couple of characters were XP locked, so you had to wait till you were a certain level to get them. But it wasn't battle pass orientated; it was just progression orientated.
And even the new
I'm not
update,
sure.
you got the new character right off the bat. Like you didn't have to buy the battle pass unless with the version
the version
bought.
we have, the version we have a year of battle pass. So
okay, so it's good until we're bored with the game at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little disappointed to see that Overwatch 2 did that. I mean, depends on how the battle pass works as well. If it's like Call of Duty Modern, like Warzone, where you buy the battle pass once and then you get enough points to buy the next battle pass with those coins, I'm okay with that. That's perfectly fine, and it would, depending on how much I enjoy the game, obviously. Like I don't play that much Overwatch, and it's I'm not sure if I'm even going to play Overwatch 2. But if it is if it does end up being where you have to buy the battle pass each season, I think I would be a little bit frustrated with that.
Yeah.
for sure. I wouldn't want to. I don't. I just don't like buying battle passes over and over and over again. You know, that's just not what I feel is worth my
Well,
money.
it shows that it's more of a money grab for them than anything else. And I'm not happy with companies going for the money grab. I mean, I get it. They're a company, so they need to make money. 100% understand. I just don't think it makes them look good, right? Like their interest should be in providing a game that everybody can play and enjoy. And I mean, we see a plethora of options out there where games are released and people like it and they make a pile of money off of it because people like and enjoy the game. But if they can't get to that point, then I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, there's a lot of people not enjoying what Overwatch 2 looks like right now. So
I mean, I just don't find it I don't find it that interesting. Like the new mode is good. Don't get me wrong. It's not that the new mode is bad or that I just don't feel like there's enough game there. I don't feel like there's enough updates there. Like it just doesn't feel like I just feel like I'm moving right back into the same game, right? Like I don't feel like um I don't like feel like I'm getting anything out of it. That's just
yeah,
me. That I'm not
it's
sure
not
how
like
everybody else
progressing
is.
from like the original Battlefield to Battlefield 1942 or Battlefield 2 and then Battlefield 3. Like there was a clear progression change. Even between, what was it, Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2, you could see a huge change. Uh, and I mean, it's still the same engine, but all new maps. The meta change was less vehicles, so you might get small unweaponized vehicles and one tank per side, and then the rest was all infantry combat, as opposed to getting into um, larger maps that Battlefield had. So there was a lot of changes back then, but I don't. There's almost nothing with Overwatch 2.
Yeah,
Couple
and
characters.
yeah, and seeing what's coming around the corner with new Battlefield games being released or coming out soon. Apparently, the Halo studio is coming out with a new Battlefield game. It was just revealed. So I'm not sure exactly what the timeline or what kind of game it's going to end up being, but um, people are gonna, are probably gonna be more hesitant to spend their money in certain, right? Like whether they want to buy a battle pass for Overwatch 2 versus buying the next Battlefield game. Um, and on top of the new Battlefield game being announced, Modern Warfare uh, just really has been releasing a whole lot of information about Modern Warfare 2. I watched Jack Franks put out a video, shout out to his video about the changes that are coming with Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. I'm not sure what they're going to call it, but the graphical update looks fantastic. Like it looks like it's really well done, and they seem to be addressing the issues that most people have with Modern Warfare and Warzone to begin with, which is like the sound engine. How you can never really tell what direction people are coming from because the sound was just so terrible. So they put
Yeah,
in
or there wasn't any sound.
or there wasn't any sound. Like they just show up there. Oh, man, painful. Um, but now they put a whole new sound engine in. They're working on the footsteps. They're working on everything to make it that much more of a game. And Modern Warfare 2 comes with a full new multi or single player campaign that they've been working on AI so that the AI is systematically driven. So if you are showing a pattern of the way you're doing things in a level, the AI is going to adapt to how you're doing that and play differently accordingly. So it's not going to be anymore just like, oh, the AI just stands up and then kind of looks at you and shoots you, or doesn't shoot you, or just kind of sits back down. They're working really hard to make the AI a very good replica of human behavior so that the single player is a immersive experience. So I
That's
look
good.
yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to spend $80 on a Modern Warfare game yet again. Like, there's only so much storyline and stuff like that. But
Seems to be a new one every year for another $80.
exactly right. Maybe it'll be more. Maybe it'll be like 110 this time.
Gosh, don't even.
I know, right? It's kind of it makes me cringe just a bit. But the updates that they are doing are just amazing. Like the game looks fantastic. It sounds fantastic, obviously. Um, but who knows? We'll end up seeing what ends up coming up down the pipe from it. I don't know. Again, another thing. Where do you want to spend your money?
Yeah. Yeah.
Steam sale, baby. Steam sale. Why won't you go on sale? That's too bad. Um, yeah. I mean, maybe I'm just more of you guys didn't pay too much Warzone, did you?
Uh, Not the base games. I did a bunch of the multiplayer, like Call of Duty. I did. Everybody and their brother played that for a bit. I think the Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare edition game, I played a bit, but I never really got into it. I was always on the Battlefield side. I've always felt that the Call of Duty stuff was a little more arcadey. Like it was a little less realistic. It was more competitive because it was that's the kind of game it was orientated to be. Whereas Battlefield was a large scale battle between two sides. So I was more focused always on Battlefield rather than the Call of Duty stuff.
I I mean, I liked my Counter Strike, like having the small maps with two objectives. You do your objectives, and I really like the small battle side of things. Like that is kind of more my MO. But now after playing 2042, I've been really, I mean, I don't enjoy being bombed by a helicopter 40 times over because you for some reason you can't take out the helicopter because the flares really reload so damn fast that you can't do anything about it. Like there
Yeah.
are issues with the balancing of vehicles and ground combat, but for the most part, I find that I enjoy the 2042. Like there are times when it's frustrating as all heck, because there's
Yep.
the tanks, and then all of a sudden there's another helicopter, and then another helicopter, and then another tank.
Another tank. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and then another tank, and it's like, oh my goodness. But I feel like it feels really rewarding when you finally do take out that tank, or you do have a team that strives to take out the helicopters. And like there are some matches that end up being very good because of it, and then there's some matches that like I feel like
The opposite.
there's no in between. I feel like with 2042, it's either you have this terrible match where you just can't get anything done because all the vehicles are too overpowered, or you have this really good match where it doesn't matter how many vehicles they bring in. You for some reason your team works really hard to take them out, and a really enjoyable game. So, yeah, I don't know, but I mean that's apparently Modern Warfare 2 is going to introduce vehicles as well. So we might not get any respite from it if you feel like you want to enjoy a game without it. Go play Overwatch 2.
Yeah, no vehicles over there.
None whatsoever.
Speaking of Steam,
Yeah. Speaking of Steam, you
happy 19th birthday. It's crazy that it's been around for 19 years or almost 20 years. It's crazy.
isn't it? I mean, I remember signing up for the beta for Steam. Oh man, I just dated myself completely and terribly. But yeah, I remember signing up for the beta.
I don't remember the original version of Steam. I don't think I really jumped on it right away. Because I don't like looking at the pictures that they provide and how they talk about how Steam started as a launcher for one particular game, right? Like it wasn't actually there was no store. It was just a website and you had to download the game or you had to. It was the verification system and the launcher for the game essentially, and then it just evolved from that.
Yeah, so I bought my copy of Half-Life I bought was CDs, right? Like original CD. And then when they announced Half-Life 2 and they're bringing Half-Life 2 out, that is when I think they started bringing Steam out roughly about that same time. And I remember signing up for Steam and trying out the beta,
Well, I think Half-Life
trying the
2 was the
site.
game that it started with.
Yes.
Everything started with Half-Life 2, yeah.
Yeah, Counter-Strike Source and Half-Life 2. Those two features. And I remember having their website because I was following Planet Half-Life. I'm planethalflife.com, planetquake.com, all those planet sites. And it seems like and Valve kind of took what the exterior look of those sites was and kind of turned it into their website for Steam, and then from that Steam became its platform, right? So I remember I remember that that initial it coming out. But I think, yeah, right about the time it came out was 2 years. Yeah, 2 years after I joined the military.
Yeah.
2 years after it came out, so it was kind of like a little break for me in between there. I was probably playing WoW a frig ton at the time as well, so that if I don't remember, it's probably because of that. But it is interesting to see how and where it's come from, and um,
Yeah.
amazing at where it is now, all the way up to the what the frig? Steam sells adult games now? I had no
Uh,
idea. I did
no.
no idea.
Really? You
Yeah.
had no idea? Oh my gosh.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
I
no,
might have
they've
seen Leisure Suit Larry for sale once or twice. Steam. I never I didn't know they actually
Oh,
sold them.
well, I mean, be careful. Make sure you have the parental guideline settings on, so the kids aren't checking out the potential Steam games on there for adults, because there's a plethora of them now.
Oh, really? I mean,
Yeah,
sure, whatever.
I mean, it's not generally out of North America. I would say most of them are probably coming out of the more Asian um, countries, the
I mean,
developing developer
by looking at
companies.
that picture, I would say that's an Asian game.
Yeah.
just just saying. So,
Mhm.
um and then Steam Deck's just come out too. I mean, I haven't heard much about Steam Deck other than runs all Steam in
Yeah.
handheld form. Have you seen anything about it or done any reading behind it?
I mean, I was never gonna spend the $500 or whatever it is to get one. I think that's what it was. Um, but it just yeah, 4.99 Canadian. Um, I never, yeah, it wasn't something that interests me. I mean, as much as I would love to play my Steam games on the go, I'm a PC guy. I I much prefer playing my games on the PC.
Yeah, do you know anybody that's bought one yet or no?
No, I don't know anybody that's bought one.
I remember I was on a tasking or something, and someone brought a Nintendo Switch, and I was like, "What the heck is that? What did you bring with you?" He's like, "Oh, it's a Nintendo Switch, and this is Zelda Breath of the Wild, and blah blah blah." I'm like, "What?" I was so far removed from consoles and what was happening with Nintendo. I had no idea that the Switch had even come out at the time. I was fairly busy at the time, mind you, but
Yeah. I mean, we have a Switch here at the house. My son frequently plays Mario Kart and Rocket League. He's a huge fan of Rocket League. So he plays both of those pretty religiously.
yeah, the kids love him too. My son's more of the Minecraft style of game. He likes Mario Kart, Mario Party, and Minecraft. Those are the ones that get played here. Um, so I haven't even remotely thought of buying a Steam Deck. So um, my daughter still asks me every once in a while to play WoW. So it's like no, like she just likes the fact that one of the characters can turn into a cat. That's the only thing that floats her boat with that. It's like, it turns into a cat? Yeah, it does. Can I play that one? Sure, whatever. That's what you want to do. I don't care. But congrats, Steam, on 19 years of Gabe Newell telling you where you're going to go and become amazing over and over again.
Well, or where we're going to spend our money.
Pretty much.
Twice a year. Every Christmas, every spring Steam sale or summer sale. Yeah, those are the two worst times of the year.
Yeah, I did pretty well. Okay, I think I bought one game this year, which was Mafia Definitive Edition. You know what? I'm just gonna say I did pretty good there. Pretty happy with my lack of purchases.
I didn't do too bad either. I held back this year. I did have FIFA. I think we actually talked about it before. I bought the new FIFA because they were like 90% off.
Yep.
So it was like $10 or whatever. So I went ahead and got that. Because regularly it's $80. And I think I got one other thing, but I don't remember what it was, or even if I'm even playing it right now.
It must not have been that important.
Nope, probably not.
You know what? We bought the Battlefield. We bought the Battlefield game.
Oh, was that on the summer sale too? Okay, so I played Battlefield 2.
Was it the Origin summer sale or was it Steam? I don't know. It was one of the two. We ended up watching, or we ended up getting it from. Some other fun news. Netflix is is teaming up with Ubisoft to make 3 exclusive titles for Netflix. I'm not sure how I feel about Netflix publishing. I mean, sure if they want to publish games, but I don't quite I've never seen, like we talked before about Netflix having a games portion on their service, but I've never seen it myself.
I've never done any stuff. The kids looked at it and they've played a couple of games on there, but it's not something I've ever done.
Yeah, they're looking at a new Assassin's Creed, Valiant Hearts 2, and Mighty Quest. Those will be the 3 titles. I'm not sure exactly how you play them on the TV. I'm not exactly sure how it works. It might be something I'll look into when I get some time this week. I'll see if I can find it on the Canadian version of Netflix. Maybe it doesn't exist on the Canadian version because I know that Netflix Canada and Netflix US are quite a bit different.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Quite a few different titles that are available between the two. So I'll take a look into that this week, but it'll be interesting to see exactly what Ubisoft is going to provide for Netflix for these games. So see where that one goes. That one's
or how you're even going to play them.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Like, are you going to use a remote control, like your TV remote? Is it just going to be like a? Have you seen? There's like Minecraft shows where it's like choose your own adventure, and you tell them to go this way, and they do that thing. I wonder if it's going to be like a game like that.
Oh, maybe.
Plug your controller into your USB for Netflix. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know where they're going with it.
More research is needed.
More research is definitely needed on that one. That was just a little bit too far. More news about the 4000 series is coming out.
Oh,
yeah.
What did we hear?
Well, the one thing I heard is that the 4060 is not nearly as powerful as it should be. That's the one thing I did hear. That the first leaked benchmarks for the 4060 were not impressive at all. I don't know if that's where that's coming, like what's going to come up with that, but that is the first thing. The second one that came up that you posted was that the 4090 has more than 75 billion transistors.
That's kind of insane.
That is nuts. That is crazy.
And I mean, we're talking in a 10-inch by 6-inch wide. Maybe I think we figured out it's going to be like 2.5, maybe 3 inches deep. That's a lot. There's a lot going into these cards. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is nuts. I don't understand it. 165% more transistors than the 3090 Ti. That is,
I mean, not that I understand what any of what these transistors are actually doing to improve the board, but I mean, the number just comes across as staggering.
it's staggering when you think about where, like, we're having everybody wants an electric car now, and everybody wants this and that, and where are the materials coming to put 75 billion transistors onto all of these cards everywhere? Like, I
You
mean,
know, thank God they're not handmade.
thank goodness, maybe, hopefully that you're. But what I mean, okay, when you think about it though, and you think about what that means for the card. Now you're going from 24 billion or 28 billion transistors on your other cards,
3090 card.
your 3090 card, and you're going up to 75 billion transistors on your 4090 series. What is the probability of those transistors having a problem? Because you're upping the amount by, like it says, 165%. So I just feel like you're getting into this territory of how well is the card going to perform over time? Is it going to break quicker because you have more parts to break, right? Like, it's that whole adage of buying a new car. When you when you look at that, oh, I love that brand new car, like, but it's got, oh, okay, well, it has nav and it's got Bluetooth and it's got, instead of roll up windows, it's got freaking buttons for the windows and automatic high beams and automatic low beams, and there's just so much shit to break. Is is this the same thing with video cards? Is that we're now getting to that point where it's like, okay, you have 75 billion transistors, so will I notice a performance degrade if I start losing transistors left, right, and center? Oh man, I'm down to like 71.8 billion. Jeez, my card performs
Uh-oh.
less 10 FPS for $1,000. That's it, Grandma. You win. I'm done. So it'd be interesting to see how it works going forward. Like, again, I'm more worried about quality control, especially with the issues that they had with the 3090 when it came out. Finding different things in between the boards and the fans and other fun things like the little finger condom thingies that they wear to do their inspection, and people were, but was it, there was a game that was overheating the 3090 as well?
Yeah, it was wrecking them actually. I can't remember off the top of my head what the game was, but it was producing such a problem that it actually was breaking the cards, and they offered to cover the cost of those card replacements.
Game wrecking 3090 cards. What game was it? Oh, it was New World. That's right. New World was bricking 3090s
Oh, right, right.
in the login
Just as we
screen.
got our 30 series cards
Yeah,
and
yeah.
started playing New World.
This way got them is like, oh, by the way, that the don't go into the main menu. Go into the game right away. You're gonna brick your card. I think it was only 3090s that it was bricking, so that's a good thing. Something about the FPS cap, lack of FPS cap, or something like that was
Something,
killing
yeah.
it. I don't know. It's kind of crazy either way. Um, so that's kind of interesting information to see come out. Um, I guess, you have anything else here? Oh, you want to talk about this broadband map by ISPs in the States?
Yeah, we can do that quickly. So there's an article from I don't know if it's Ars Technica or if it's ARS Technica. And they're in the article they're saying that for the first time ever, the group or the department that controls uh, the American internet and radio broadcasting and everything, the FCC, finally has a working map of the telecommunications across the country for internet providers and what's provided where and how, and basically they're finding that a lot of the companies are basically lying to customers and saying that they in these particular areas they provide such and such a service, like for gigabyte internet or whatever, but it turns out that they actually don't. So people are spending money to get this service and then never ever getting the service that they've paid for. I know they in the article they talk a bit about Comcast being one of the worst offenders, and that they're expecting to see ISPs probably start to get dinged pretty heavily for their infractions and false advertising and everything else you want to throw at them. But the FCC's, in my opinion, one of the unsung departments of the American government, and they're definitely not a group you want to piss off. So it'll be quite interesting to see how things go forward, and if any of these big law firms in the U.S. turn around and pick up a class action lawsuit and just absolutely massacre some of these internet service providers.
Yeah, it says right here, bad data bites internet users. ISPs in many cases have given potential customers false information, leading them to believe internet access would be available in homes that don't have it. Comcast and other ISPs have required thousands of dollars in upfront fees to wire up homes, even after falsely promising service would be available at a specific address. The FCC mapping upgrade isn't designed specifically to address that problem, but it could ultimately make it easier for homeowners to get accurate information. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't think I've ever heard of someone having a good experience with Comcast either.
I mean, we know a couple of employees at Comcast, and I mean, even they don't necessarily speak overly highly of the company. I mean, obviously they like their jobs. They don't think their company's more in it to make the money than to help out mankind.
Actually, I think the only positive thing I've heard of Comcast is what they do for their employees. Like I thought I'm not sure if it was Comcast, maybe it was something else, another company, but there was an ISP, I think an American ISP that would like provide them with training and university training and stuff like that if they wanted to go to school at the same time as working and make it work for their schedule and stuff like that. I can't remember if it was Comcast or if it was another one, but I remember someone talking about how they're actually doing good things for their employees. If too bad doing shit for their
Customers,
for
yeah.
the customers. I mean, I remember I did telemarketing for a couple months one summer because the money was good, and called this one guy, and I can't remember what cable company. He's like, what are you talking about? You guys trying to call and sell me this cable? You guys tore up my driveway from my house to my street trying to put this cable in, and it's still torn up. And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. I had no idea, but I was just told to call you. There's not much I can do about that, but you can call them, and then you can call them and complain to them. Have a good night. I'm sorry. Bye. Click. I'm like, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm just doing this. Just doing this to make a little bit of money
Just
this
trying
summer.
to sell the guy some internet.
Just trying to sell you some cable, man. Don't you want some cable? Like, why are you hating on wanting the cable? Oh man. Um, cool. So that's all we got lined up today for topics. Actually, really some really interesting stuff going on and what's coming down the pipe with gaming, and it's good to see. Sad to see Overwatch 2 in the news again. I have to admit. I mean, you want it to be good, and because it's a Blizzard game, and most of the time Blizzard games are good, so hopefully they figure a way out to make everybody happy, which never ever happens. But we could always hope.
Always.
Always. Um, one final story. So today I went to the chiropractor, and I'm wearing a shirt. There's a book called Endure by Cameron Haynes that I read. It's just about him going through life. He's a bow hunter who does like ultra marathons and stuff like that. Really interesting book. I read the book. I bought a t-shirt. His one saying is nobody cares, work harder. And then across it says your hate makes me unstoppable. because he gets so much hate being a bow hunter that wants to lift weights and be in the best shape possible. So he always gets uh, a an elk or whatever he's hunting that season, right? So I went as in the chiropractor, and there's this old lady there, and she's just like, "I don't like your shirt." I'm like, what? Like, says nobody cares. I was like, yeah, it's a workout shirt. It says nobody cares. Work harder. Like, quite literally, nobody cares about, you know, you've got problems or whatever, you've got your issues or whatever. Nobody cares. You work harder. You can do this. You can work harder. I didn't say that to her. I just said, yeah, it's just a workout shirt. This. Fast forward 30 minutes. I'm taking. My daughter had an orthodontist appointment, and so I was like, hey, you want to go grab a snack after the ortho appointment? So we walked downtown, where I walked by this company, and the owner, who we've seen a few times, and we don't really know her, but we've seen her enough that she kind of recognizes us. She's like, I like your shirt. I'm like, oh, thank you. She's like, what does it say? I said, oh, work, nobody cares, work harder. She's like, I need that shirt. That's how I train my employees. Nobody cares. You guys need to work harder, okay? She's like, I need that shirt. I'm like, tale of two old ladies, one that was ancient and one that was a little older, like in probably one that was like 90 and the other one was like in her 50s. But it was kind of interesting to be like, interesting that some people, just to see the different worldviews and so closely together. I was like, I've never had that much comment on my shirt ever. Like, I've wore this shirt everywhere. Like, and I get a comment from some old lady and there's some business owner. I thought it was great. That's my fun anecdotal story or fun story for the end of the podcast for today. So, guys, if you want to try fast, it sucks. You're gonna be hungry.
Do your research.
But do your research. Nobody cares about your excuses. You got to work through it. Okay. But yeah, have a good week, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
Thanks, everyone. You guys have a good night.
Take care. Don't forget to smash the like button. Subscribe. Cheers.